Every woman around me wanted the wedding, the babies, the family photos. And when I didn't feel that way, when I didn't feel that pull, the question was always, what's wrong with you? Because apparently every woman is supposed to want that. But even marriage wasn't some like childhood fantasy for me. It was more like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I never dreamed about being a bride. I definitely never dreamed about, becoming a mother. And instead of trusting that, I let myself believe that maybe I just hadn't unlocked that part of me yet. When Charlie and I were dating, we did what you're supposed to do. We talked about kids. And I was completely honest when I said this, that I could go either way. And at the time, I truly meant this. Because, I had found someone I respected, someone I knew wouldn't just dump the entire emotional and physical labor of parenthood on me. And even then, underneath it, there was something in me that hesitated. Because let's be real, no matter how progressive you are, no matter how supportive your partner may be, motherhood changes the woman's life more. Her body, her career, her identity, her freedom. And that's not a critique on men, it's just reality. And I was hyper aware of that. After we got married, we started struggling. We both came from chaotic Asian households, no communication skills, just suppress everything until it explodes, right? And while we were barely figuring out and learning how to be good partners to each other, people started asking about the kids, right? And I kept saying, we're not ready, we're not ready. But the deeper truth was, why would we bring a child into something we hadn't healed yet? Because I knew what it felt like to inherit generational trauma. And I refused to pass it on just because society and my biological clock said that it's time. So we did therapy. We did the work. Charlie realized he also didn't want kids. He had just never questioned the programming. It was just what you did, right? That's just what you do. Graduate, get married, have kids. Completion of the script. Except it wasn't even his script to begin with. And today, both of us are so grateful that we didn't just blindly follow that script. At first, I thought maybe I didn't want kids because I had already been the emotional parent in my life, right? The eldest daughter, the responsible one, the family therapist, caretaker of everyone's feelings. And the thought of having more people rely on me, it just felt suffocating. So I healed that. I set boundaries. I stopped overstepping. I stopped rescuing grown adults. I stopped being that emotional anchor for everyone. And guess what? Still didn't want children. So it wasn't trauma. It was my truth. And here's what bothers me. Women always have to explain why we don't want kids, but no one interrogates people who actually want them. Like, why is the default assumed to be motherhood, right? Why isn't the default, are you absolutely sure with every fiber of your being that this is what you want, that, you want kids? Because, having children, it's beautiful, but only when it's chosen consciously. And to be honest, I don't think enough of us really take the time to really think about that, right? It's just, we just do it because we've been handed a script, like we're just supposed to do it. And yeah, it shouldn't be compulsory. And I truly believe that I don't want to should be a complete sentence. And now add traditional patriarchal Asian families into the mix. It was pressure. It was, you'll change your mind, you'll regret it. At one point, Charlie had to say, if you want to continue to have a relationship with us, you got to stop bringing up the kids. Point blank. Because boundaries are boundaries. And I'm so proud of us for doing that, because it's really hard to, especially with Asian parents. Even my mom, who, ultimately says it's my choice, she'll still slip in from time to time. Oh, my friend's daughter totally regretted her decision to not have kids when she turned 40. Or, you may not want them now, but, imagine when you're older and, you have, your grown children. She's like, I don't know what I would do without my daughters, right? And I have to gently remind her that, you and I, we're not the same person. Different upbringing, different identity, different wiring. Her fulfillment should not be my blueprint. I just turned 42 this year. Still not regretting it. and even if I did regret it someday, that's totally fine. Like, regret is just part of being human, right? And to be honest, I'd rather regret not having kids than have them and then regret having them. For years, I thought I was wishy-washy. But now I'm seeing that that wasn't it at all. It was just programming fighting my intuition. Because now I'm crystal clear. I don't need to justify it. I don't need a debate. I don't need to defend my choices. This is my life. And I love myself enough to live it.